Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft Java video. Today we're going to take a look at the new and upcoming Feather client for Minecraft Java Edition. I have done a review on the Feather client recently, so do go and check out that video where I have covered loads of different stuff for the Feather client. Today I'm actually going to review some of the inbuilt mods that do come with the Feather client. So once you are inside your game using the Feather client, all you need to do is just press the right shift key on your keyboard, which will then allow you to control these widgets. And if you click on the feather settings over here, we can see that we do have a mod menu section over here. So these are some of the 40 plus mods that are included, and they do come with the Feather client. I am using version 1.8.9 as an example, but these should be the same for other versions like 1.18.1 as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these mods and some of the settings for these mods and how to change them and what they look like inside our game. Someone did ask me about the direction mod recently, so I'm going to go through all of these different mods today and see what we can do with them. Obviously, I did mention this section in my previous video, and I also did mention that these are the inbuilt mods that come with the Feather client. Another good thing with the Feather client is that you can use your own mods. If we go into the actual Feather client user interface, you can see that I can select different versions over here, and some of these external mods actually come bundled with the Feather client, so you can actually enable or disable them depending on your preference. You can also click this button, which will open up a window, and then you can go to the CurseForge website, download your own mods, and then place them inside that folder, and then you can use your own mods as well with the Feather client, which is another unique point of the Feather client compared to other clients like Lunar client or Bad Lion client, which are completely fixed and you can't use your own mods with them. But with the Feather client, this is a new option which we can do, and it's a unique selling point. So it's a really cool function, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the Feather client. So apart from these external mods, the Feather client comes with its own internal mods as well. So I'm not actually going to look into these external mods today because you can get them on the CurseForge website and you can read up about them. So let's go back into our game and have a look at some of these other mods that do come with the Feather client. And again, let me press the right shift button. Let me go into the Feather settings over here. So starting from the top, we can see we have the animation section, and as you guys can see, it says switch between the 1.7 and 1.8 animations, and I have got that enabled. So you can actually go ahead and individually enable or disable some of these different animations over here. You can also select the mode here for the damage indicator. For example, you can choose the default, custom color, or even the chroma option over here, which is really cool. I do like that option. Let's go back and let's check out the armor status. Okay, so for the armor status, by default it is going to look like this, and currently I have set this widget to the bottom right over here. And let's go ahead and select the percentage for this. You can also choose the left or right location for the icon. You can also change the list mode to horizontal or vertical, and then we can also play around with the padding and decide how much padding you want there as well. You can also choose to show the item name, but do bear in mind that will take up more space, and then you can also show the max damage as well. So let's go ahead and reset these to the default settings. I'm actually going to select the percentage because I do like the percent damage display type more. So let's go back and let's have a look at the next mod, which we can actually go and configure, and this is the block overlay. And this is basically when we do look at a block in first person mode, it actually has a border around it. So you guys can see I'm selecting different blocks here, and this is the block overlay. So we can actually change some settings, which is really cool. Let's go inside the block overlay settings, and you can choose to just have a outline if that's what you want to do, or you can select the full mode, which is actually going to highlight the entire block and color that. We can also click on this button here which says color, and then we can choose the chroma option, and this is quite cool because now I can actually look at these blocks, and as you guys can see, it's actually changing the color. It's cycling through the different rainbow colors there. Let me just zoom in there, and as you guys can see, it's actually cycling there using the chroma effect. So it's quite cool that we can actually go ahead and enable that function in the Feather client. Let's go back, let's check out the boss bar mod over here. Now the boss bar mod is normally displayed on the top section here, so you can go ahead and enable or disable text shadow and the text color as well. Let me go back inside the main lobby over here so you guys can see the boss bar on the top there. If I go into the feather settings, you can see that the boss bar is over here on the top. I can move this around if I want to do that. So let's place it on the top over here and let's make it centered. Let's go back inside this section. Now let's check out the CPS. I have put the CPS count on the bottom left here, and I have actually enabled the right click CPS as well. So let's reset the settings to the defaults. As you guys can see, it says digits over here. So you can actually choose to have 1 or 2 digits, which is the decimal place for the CPS if that's what you want to have a look at. You can enable or disable the right click as well, so you can actually see both buttons, the left click and right click. You can also have the CPS text showing if that's what you want to show, and we can actually go ahead and change the style as well, like so. And obviously we can click on text and have a chroma effect as well. So let's check that out and see how that looks. So as you guys can see at the bottom left over here next to my hotbar, we can see that the CPS is now cycling through the chroma effects if that's something that you guys like, and it will actually show me the different CPS there for my mouse clicks if that's something you guys like to look at during the PvP matches. Let's go back inside the mod menu here again. Let's move on to the clear water section over here. As you guys can see, it says removes fog underwater so you can see clearer. You can click this for the lava and the water as well, and you can choose the fog density. So at the moment it is set to 0. Obviously you can go ahead and play around with that depending on your personal preference. Let's move on to the combo display. So at the moment it looks like this. You can change it around. Obviously we have the style settings. It's pretty straightforward. You can obviously go ahead and choose the chroma setting for this and enable a text shadow and a border as well. There's quite a lot of details which you can do with these widgets, and it's really good. Let's have a look at the coordinates over here. Now these are quite detailed as well. As you guys can see, directions, chunk counter, biome are all enabled. You might decide to disable the direction over here and the chunk counter, for example, if that's something you want to do. And you can choose to actually have this displayed as a horizontal bar as opposed to a vertical bar as well, and we can change the colors around. We can also include a text shadow as well. So there's loads of different options you can select here for the coordinates mod. Let's have a look at another cool mod. So this is the custom crosshair mod. Let's click into this. And as you guys can see, it actually shows me what my current crosshair looks like. I've currently got it set to cross, so we can actually go ahead and choose a circle, for example, and then we can actually increase the gap like so. Let's have a look at how that looks inside our game. This actually quite reminds me of the Quake 3 crosshair that we used to have with one of the weapons, and it's quite cool. So you can actually go ahead and choose a different crosshair for this, and you can actually choose a square, default, or arrow as well. Another cool thing is that you can actually have a chroma effect crosshair as well, so that's going to cycle between your chroma effects, as you guys can see. So when I am inside my game, that is going to cycle through the different chroma effects. So it's really good that we can actually go ahead and change our crosshair and we don't have to rely on a texture pack, for example. Let's go back and have a look at another mod, which is the direction mod. Now someone did ask me to review this particular mod, so as you guys can see, this is what the settings for the direction mod looks like. So starting at the top here, we have the type, so we can actually choose the default, the simple layout, or the no tick layout, which looks like this. I actually like the default layout. I think it's got enough detail on there. By default, this actually comes in all white, but I have actually made the direction counter in red color, as you guys can see, and I have made the marker color in white, so you do have that nice contrast there. You can obviously play around with these sliders as well. So we've got the marker size, so it increases it and decreases it. We've got the shadow there as well, and we've got the visible degrees. You can actually increase or decrease that as well. And then we've got the width, so you can actually make it quite wider or less wider if that's what you want to do. Let's go ahead and reset these settings, and let me change the color back to red for that. There we go. So you can actually have a look at the direction mod, and these are the options that you can select for it as well. As you guys can see on the top there, it is actually quite smooth. I do like that effect that it's giving me. It's quite smooth. It's not hindering my view at all. It's just there on the top, and I do like that effect. So for those of you who like to use compass ribbons, then this is another mod that you guys can go ahead and enable. Let's have a look at the Discord mod over here, and it says show single player world, show server, and show Hypixel game modes, and it says share your current status on Discord. So you can go ahead and enable or disable that. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go back. Let's go ahead and take a look at the FOV changer, which is the field of view. It says customize your field of view. Now you can choose different options here, like the bow zoom, flying modifier, slowness modifier, sprint modifier, and swiftness modifier. You can go ahead and increase or decrease that. And do bear in mind that we do have this cool reset settings button here. So if you ever do end up making everything look really strange, you can just click on this button, which will just reset everything back to normal. So that's really cool. I do like that option in this. Another good thing about the Feather client is that everything is so simple and so neat and clean. It's really easy to use. So once you guys are able to get your hands on this client, you guys will find that it's really simple and easy to use. Let's have a look at the FPS counter. I have gone ahead and ticked this box here, which for the reverse. Let me reset the settings to default. So by default, it's going to show you the FPS number, and then it's going to say FPS, but I like to actually have it in the reversed mode, like so. The display mode, we can choose to actually have a background, have it as brackets, or just text. I do like having the background because it does actually have a contrast and it's easier to see. And then we can actually go ahead and change the background width, background height, add a border as well, change the text color, and also include a chroma effect if that's what you want, and obviously have a text shadow as well. Let's reset that back to normal, and let me go ahead and enable the reverse section there. Now let's go ahead and check out the next mod. Now this is the Glint mod, as you guys can see. Under the general section, we have the shiny pods option here, so we can actually go ahead and enable or disable that. And then we have the armor mode and the item mode as well. And for both of them, I have gone ahead and selected the chroma option. You can choose the items, armor, or the general shiny pod section as well. So you can actually see at the bottom right here, I do have a potion icon. When I click into this box, it actually changes that, as you guys can see. All right, let's go ahead and check out the Hitbox mod over here, and I have gone ahead and enabled that. So as you guys can see, it's actually showing me different hitboxes for every single character. It's got these white lines around a different character, and it's the same for NPCs and different players as well, as you guys can see, and it's also around my character as well. So for those of you who like to have a look at hitboxes when you do like to play your PvP matches, for example, you can go ahead and enable that if that's what you like. And we can go ahead and change the color for that as well. It's really cool. You've got different hitboxes here. You've got item drop hitboxes, projectile hitboxes, animal, monster, player, and then the general hitbox as well. So you can go ahead and enable or disable them individually if that's what you want to do. Let's have a look at the next mod. Now, this is the Hypixel mod section over here. You've got the standard Hypixel options here, like auto friend, auto tip, auto GG, anti GG, anti lobby join, level head, which is another cool thing, which shows you the different player level heads. So let's actually go ahead and click this button here for the show self one. You've got the level head prefix as well, which says level, and then you've got the level head suffix as well. So you can actually go ahead and have a suffix which is going to be written after the level head. So at the moment it's going to say level colon, and then it's going to have the actual number there. So let me press F5. So as you guys can see, it's got my level there above my head. So this is what it is going to look like for other players when they look at me, and you can obviously look at other players as well. I don't really do that much of PvP, as you guys can see. That's why my level is quite low. All right, let's go back and have a look at the other options here. We've got the item counter. So as you guys can see, this is the bar at the bottom here, which also shows your arrows and your other potions and food items here. So you guys can see that we've got the different food and items here, and you can choose to have it displayed as vertical or horizontal, and you can change the text alignment, and we can actually give it a background if that's what you want to do, or you can remove it as well. well, you can individually go ahead and enable or disable any one of these options and change their colors around as well. So let's reset these options and let's go back and have a look at the next mod. Now let's have a look at the item info mod, which basically displays the enchants when picking up an item. So you can actually go ahead and change the time over here. You can change the count options, enchants, and then you can actually change the fade out, which is really cool. You can increase or decrease the fade out option here as well. So it's pretty straightforward, and it does give you some nice options over here. We've also got item physics as well, so you can actually have a look at the different physics. It's a standard slider over here, and as you guys can see, it says rotate speed, and then we can go ahead and change these settings as well. Let's move on to the next mod, which is the Keystrokes mod over here, and this is the standard Keystrokes mod that we have seen in loads of different PvP clients, and we can choose different options over here. We can choose to have it as arrows or names. If that's something that you guys want to do, you can change it to arrows. You can even disable it. You can have the fade time changed as well, and you can also have the CPS showing on there as well. So you can actually show the CPS under the left right mouse button icon over there and the right mouse button section over here as well. And we can play around with the colors as well. Obviously we can click on this and choose a chroma as well. So let me just reset that quickly and then choose the text color and then enable the chroma effects on here. So as you guys can see on this section here on the left hand side, it does have the keystrokes widget, and it is actually cycling through the different chroma effects as well, which is really cool. I do like that chroma effect on the Keystrokes mod, so you can go ahead and enable or disable that. Let's go ahead and check out the next mod, and the next mod is a nick hider, and it says hide your nick and skin. So you can actually hide your own name, hide other names, hide your skin, show a real skin, and then hide other skins as well. So you do have those options under the nick hider mod. The next mod is the oof mod, and this is basically when you kill another player, it actually plays a sound. So at the moment we only have the oof.wave file over here, and you can actually go ahead and change the volume for that as well if that's what you want to do. So let's go back and have a look at the next mod, and this is the pack display. So this is going to show you if you guys are using another pack, for example, and it's really good because it actually does show you the icon as well. You can choose to have a background so you can read it easily. It has the title style and it has the description style as well. So let me just quickly go ahead and enable a resource pack. Alright, so I've enabled a resource pack. This is the Frostbite 512X resource pack, and if you guys have a look at the top right section over here where my mouse is, you can see it is actually showing me what resource pack I have got. It's showing me the author's name as well, and it's showing me the icon as well, which is really cool. I do like that effect as well in the Minecraft game. So if you guys are using different resource packs, then this is really good because you can actually tell which resource pack you have got selected by enabling that mod. Let's go back inside the different mods here. Let's move on to the particles, and let me click into this, and as you guys can see, it says always sharp particles. You can actually enable or disable that, and then you can actually change the multiplier. Let's click on ping, and another straightforward option here, we can actually decide to change the rate for the bad ping color. You can change the bad ping color change rate, and we can change the different styles as well, like we can do with other mods that have text in them. And we can actually click on this button which says show HUD, as you guys can see, and we can choose different options here like the tab list dynamic color, and tab list color as well. Let's reset these settings and let's go back. Let's move down to the potion effects. I have placed the potion effects widget on the middle left section of my screen. You can change the blink duration in seconds, as you guys can see from this slider. You can change the color options here, and you can tick and untick these other options here as well, like effect name, icon blink, hide inventory status, or hide vanilla effects, and that's for version 1.12.2 and above, as you guys can see. Let's select the reach display mod and have a look at these settings. So as you guys can see, we can actually change the different digits over here, and we can also change the style as well, as you guys can see over here, and the color, which is quite straightforward. So you do have loads of different flexibility. So anything that is text-based will look similar to this, where you can actually change the display mode, background width, height, border, text, and a text shadow if you guys want to do that. Let's move on to the next mod, and this is the saturation mod, as you guys can see. So we've got the general section here, food exhaustion, food gain, red saturation, and the normal saturation. So you can go ahead and enable them or disable them as well, and you can change the different options here as well. So it's pretty straightforward for the saturation, as you guys can see. We go on to the scoreboard, which is the section on the right hand side over here. You can choose to show the numbers, or you can choose to hide the numbers as well, and we can also go ahead and enable or disable the text shadow, and obviously change the different colors and background and title background as well. Let's move on to the next mod, and this is the screenshot mod. As you guys can see, it says auto copy mode, and we can actually select it to don't copy, copy file, or copy URL, which is quite interesting. So you can actually have it to copy the file if that's what you want to do. And it says show open option, show copy option, show upload option, and show tweet option, which is quite advanced for a screenshot if you ask me. So let's go ahead and actually take a screenshot. Let me just go back to the lobby because I have actually been triggered as AFK, and let's go ahead and take a screenshot over here by pressing the F2 button on my keyboard. And as you guys can see on the bottom left there, it does say screenshot captured, and if I press T, I can actually go ahead and click on these different options here. So I can make it my favorite, delete it, upload it, or copy it, and I can actually go inside the folder as well where it is saved. So you can select different options here, which is really cool. It does actually give us different options inside our Minecraft game. Let's have a look at the Scrollable Tooltips mod over here. We can't actually go into the Scrollable Tooltips options, unfortunately, but you can just disable or enable that if that's what you want to do. Let's go to the server address now, and this is going to show you the server address and an icon. As you guys can see on the top right section of my screen, it does say the mc.hypixel.net link there with the Hypixel icon if you guys want to display which server you are playing on. And obviously, similar to the other mods, you can change the style, and obviously you can go ahead and change the display options here, and you can disable the icon if you don't want it to show an icon. It's completely up to you. Let's go back and have a look at the other mod. Let's click on a Snaplook. So this is basically, if we press this keybind, it's going to quickly look behind my character. So I have set it as forward, and I have selected the semicolon button because that was not used on my keyboard. So if I press my semicolon button right now, you can see it actually shows me, and it shows everything behind me. Let me just get out of the AFK mode again, and let me just come down here quickly. And once I am in first person mode, and let's say I want to quickly have a look what's behind me, so let's say an enemy is chasing me, I can just press that keybind and have a look at what's behind me, and then I can quickly just carry on as normal in first person mode. So it's a really cool mod. I would recommend that you guys actually enable that if you are playing PvP. Let's click on the time mod over here, and we can go ahead and change the time format from 24 hours to 12 hours if you guys want to do that. And again, change the style of the time mod as well. We also have a time changer mod, as you guys can see, and we can actually go ahead and change the time option here. So as you guys can see, it says change the time locally, and we can tick this box for it to show the real world time. So if I tick this, it is actually going to change the sky. So as you guys can see, it's actually changed the sky based on my time. So it is actually quite late. I am actually playing at 4 in the morning here, and it's actually changed the sky to a moon using the Frostbite resource pack there. And let me go back into the time changer again and untick that. So as you guys can see, it's now using the default skybox option there. So let's go ahead and actually enable that. That is a cool little effect that we have got going on here. So as you guys can see, it's now changing the sky option here based on what my real world time is like. That is quite a cool mod in my opinion. Let's go ahead and select the other mods over here. Let's choose the toggle sprint mod and have a look at that. So you can actually change the options here for the toggle sprint, and I have placed mine at the bottom left over here. So you can choose to actually have sneak as well included on here, as well as sprint. You can also block sprint in the fly option over here, and you can also hide text if that's what you want to do. So let's have a look at this option for the toggle sprint. Let me just quickly go into first person mode over here, and currently I am actually sprinting, as you guys can see, but when I press the control key I will go back into vanilla and start walking. So this is the normal vanilla mode where I am walking, but if I hold down the control button I am sprinting like so. But now it is set to toggle, so I don't have to worry because I can just press W and I can just sprint forever basically in the lobby over here. So it's a really cool mod to have, and you don't have to waste time or hold down the control key to sprint all the time. Do check out this toggle sprint mod. It's a really cool mod to have in your Minecraft game. We also have a voice mod over here, and we can choose the receive mode, so you can select everyone or party only. And then we've got the push to talk option over here. We can have it within the proximity, or we can have it in the party option here as well. And you can choose your capturing options, so you can click on this drop down and I can select different options here. And we've got the amplification slider over here, and then we've got the playback options over here as well. So it's really cool. We do have a voice mod included with the Feather client as well. We also have a weather changer, so you can go ahead and select different weather options over here. So let's go ahead and actually select the thunder option over here. We can actually make it rain and thunder. I do like those raindrops from this resource pack. I think that looks really cool. And you can actually go ahead and change the weather back to rain or the clear option as well. So you can actually have it cleared as well. You can also change the rain and snow color. So if we go back inside our game, I have changed it to a red color. So it looks like it's actually raining blood. So if you guys want to go for that effect, you can actually do that with this mod and reset that back to the default settings. And finally, we do have a zoom mod in this as well. So you can see that we can choose to have a smooth zoom, and we can choose the smooth zoom options here, smooth movement, and then we can actually select the starting zoom level. I can actually move my mouse wheel up and down and have that going in and out like the zoom telescope, for example. Let's go ahead and reset that to the default. Hopefully you guys will enjoy all of these different mods. Another cool thing to note is that we do have different categories here, so you can quickly have a look at them and click on the HUD option here to have a look at the HUD mods. Click on the Hypixel section here to have a look at the Hypixel mods, and then click on the PvP section over here to have a look at the PvP mods as well. So you can actually go ahead and do all of those things. And finally, we can actually click on the feather settings over here, click on the general section, and I can go ahead and change the color as well. I have shown this in my other video, but just in case you did not know this, you can actually go ahead and change the color for the different menu options over here. So you can see that the background for these have changed, and when I go into my mod menu section, the color has changed to a blue tint like so. So that's another cool thing with the Feather client. It's really straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, you can change the color as well and customize it to your liking. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys will enjoy all of these other mods that are going to be included with the Feather client. I think you guys are not going to be disappointed with the Feather client once it is released. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give us a like. If you have any comments or queries about any of the mods that I have shown you guys today with the Feather client, or any general Feather client queries, then do leave them in the comment section below. I will do my best to try and help you guys out. And also please do subscribe to this channel to help support it, help it grow, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.